All right, good morning, everyone. While we try to fix the technical issues of displaying on a big screen, I can start off without slides. I'm Stephen Chong, the Gruyter Brill, based in Singapore. I look after the Asia Pacific business for the Gruyter Brill. And how many of you in the room heard of the Gruyter? Okay, less than half. How many people in the room heard of Brill? Pretty much that same half. What about the Gruyter Brill? It's something new, right? But we have been around for 300 over years, right? Brill, 340 over years. The Gruyter, 276 years. So Brill is one of the earliest publishers. It's the first publisher of the Netherlands, right? So we have a long heritage history, but in Asia Pacific, we are a baby, right? We are a young publisher. Why do I say that? Because my team, some of my colleagues are sitting right behind. I joined the Gruyter Brill for like 6 years now. My manager, Dave Solano, based in Washington, D.C., he is with the Gruyter Brill, 7 years or 8 years? More than 8, but on an average, our Asia Pacific team, it's probably less than 5 years of experience with the Gruyter Brill. So that's why I say we are fairly new, young in Asia Pacific, right? But we survive over 3 centuries. There must be some goodness in us. So our company now, after the merger in 2024, we are called the Gruyter Brill. Right, we are the global leader in the humanities and social science and beyond. What's beyond? STM. We do have STM in the Gruyter, and that's Brill. Right, we are top in polymer, in mathematics. We are top in industrial chemistry, agriculture, Wageningen, academic publisher. So in agriculture science, we are pretty strong. So, as I said, we have more than 300 years of history with the combined 2 business, 20 publishing brands. Some of the brands are very strong among the faculty, like Burghauser, Mouton in language and linguistics. We are probably the world #1 publisher in language and linguistics now. Right, we have strong brand within this 20 imprint. Nijhoff, international law, for example, right? Combined business, we have like more than 110,000 ebooks. We have backfile, our digitized all our ebooks, print books, way back to the first publication. So we have almost more than 110,000 ebooks titles now. Every year we publish about 3,500 new titles. So in terms of book publisher, we are probably the world 3rd largest academic book publishing, right? Springer, Taylor, we are probably number 3. But in terms of the publishing output, we have journals, we have databases, ebooks. We are probably number 6 or number 7 in terms of output, in terms of yearly new titles volume. But we are still way behind many other publishers because we are beginning to enter Asia Pacific. Even in America, we are still considered as fairly young, right? We are very strong in Europe. That is where the stronghold started. So today, that was a brief introduction about our publisher. We are still an independent, family-owned publisher. So what we believe is sustainability for libraries and for us, so that we can continue for more centuries to come, right? So the mission of the family is different. We are a commercial publisher, but as a family-owned independent publisher, we have a different mission, right? We are looking at sustaining both our customers and ourselves on a long run. And what I'm going to show you next is, I said we are a trusted academic research publisher, because now with the combined business, we can provide a one-stop solution in some of the subjects. In all the research cycle in the researchers, all the tools that they need, we are able to provide a one-stop solution now. So some of the commonly we know all those monograph, journal, encyclopedias, reference work, handbook, dictionaries, PSO, right, primary source, document, textbook, database. So we are able to provide all this. All these are considered individually. These are tools for the researchers. I mean, when I first started academic publishing, I've been in publishing for almost 30 years. But when I joined Cambridge University Press at the time, it was my first academic publisher. I look at it as a product. I have handbooks, I have encyclopedia. But with this merger, our chief publishing officer was giving a presentation of, as a researcher, what do they need to complete, especially for the humanities, social science? What are the tools that they need to complete their research work? So then I suddenly realized, it's like eureka. For the moment, I realized that these are all the tools a researcher needs, especially in the humanities and social science. And we are able to provide a one-stop solution. Researchers doesn't have to go to multiple different publishers to complete their research cycle, right? And we are the essential, we are the publisher that can provide this essential reading for scholars in these fields. I'm not going to go to individually, right? So again, majority of these are in the humanities, social science. 85% of our content is to support the humanities and social science. This afternoon at 4 p.m., we have a session on S2O, libraries leading the way. We're going to demonstrate more from a librarian's perspective why the Gruyter Brill, we are able to provide certain solution. And a bit more on numbers. We are the #1 publisher now in S2O, right? 2026, we have 126 journals on S2O, right? And we should be the second largest OA book publisher, right, with about 4,200, and it's growing every day. And 300 over reference work, primary source documents. I want to use Asian studies. I mean, we are in the heart of Asia, first Charleston Asia meeting in Bangkok. So I want to use Asian studies to illustrate the point why we are able to provide a one-stop solution. A bit of introductions, on Asian studies, right? We publish for Brill, especially Brill and the Gruyter combined, we have about 2,500 new titles, books on English materials. Then 65 titles new on Asian studies. 50 plus journals on Asian studies alone, right? And 36 online resources. We partner with 25 academic institutions around the world. But specifically, if we look at Asia, right, we have 20 Asian languages. About at least 100 years ago, Brill already started to publish works in Sanskrit, in Arabic, in Chinese, in Japanese, in Bahasa Indonesia, in Japanese, etc. So Brill long history in Asian studies is because in the 17th centuries, the Dutch East India companies, the trade route from Holland to Middle East to Africa to India to Indonesia up to Taiwan, Japan, China, along the trade route, they realized that when they reach each of those countries, especially like the story I learned was when the trade reached Indonesia, Jakarta, Batavia in the past it's called, they realized that most of the traders are Chinese origin. So the royal family asked Brill, please publish a Dutch and Chinese dictionary to help our traders communicate with the locals. So all those countries that the Dutch East India companies travel, you need to learn the language, learn the culture. And that's how we started a lot of Asian program more than 100 years ago. That's why we have a wealth of partners and content. A bit of highlights of some of those award-winning books. Tongbao is a journal on Chinese studies, sinology, more than 130 years, right? Some of our book series have been around for more than 100 years. It's a bit of our best-selling titles. Now I'm going to get into why I say we are a one-stop solution. I mentioned that we complete all the tools. So in the research journey of especially humanities, social science, we have all these tools: dictionary, biography, handbook, etc., monograph. So this, we call it a tool to enable our researchers in the humanities, social science. Right, so dictionary, for example. So we have a French, Chinese dictionary. We have the medieval, classical medieval dictionary, right? Encyclopedia, highlight some of these on religion-related, Encyclopedia of Hinduism, Buddhism. Handbook series. This handbook series, we have 400 over titles in this handbook series on the different countries, different parts of the region. We have like China, Middle East, on Japan, right, Korea, etc. This handbook series. PSO. So I highlight some of these newspaper, the PSO, backdate more than 50 years or 100 years. We have archived, digitized all these materials so that they can help to trace back the historical events from the newspaper. This is one of the latest partnership with Peking University Press, right? It's on Confucianism. Over 20 years project, 200 million Chinese character. So it's a huge project work over the last 20 years, and we are proud to partner with them for global distribution, right? And our first two customers are in Asia, University of Sydney and Hong Kong PolyU. Yeah, it's our second customers in the world. And these are some of open access books program, journal program. We focus a lot nowadays. We are open to launch new journal, but on a Diamond OA collaboration. Right, again, we also publish on the latest on Asian study, the current global challenges on gender study in China. And we attract the best and brightest scholars around the world, right, who research on Asian studies from Tsinghua, from Princeton University, for example. And we partner with Asian institutions, and some particularly in China. If you want to research on from an Asian perspective, definitely we need to partner with the local institutions in this part of the world. Right. My last slide here, I want to stress, we are an independent and family-owned publisher. So the way we collaborate with library and partners, we are more flexible, right? Because we want to ensure sustainability with our partners and our libraries. With that, I conclude my presentation. Any questions?
I have a question.
Yep.
Can you tell us a little bit more about the STM piece? Because I know it's exciting.
Yes. Thank you for that question. In fact, I didn't highlight a lot because I want to use humanities, social science as a case studies to demonstrate that we are a one-stop solution provider for some of the subjects. We can complete the research cycle with all our tools. But STM, we may not have all those tools in ebooks, in journals. We do publish in that area. So a bit on our STM. The Gruyter, about 30% of our output is actually STM. Brill is about 5%, but with the combined business now, we are especially strong in mathematics. We have 200 years. In fact, one of our journal will be celebrating 200-year anniversary this year, Trailer, right? So it's 2 centuries of mathematics publishing. And we are now particularly strong in polymer, industrial chemistry, on books program. We are the world #1 in terms of books program. But the latest development is that we have someone came on board, our executive vice president, Harry Blom. He has years of history of STM publishing with Springer, right? And he was on a freelance project with NASA in the last couple of years, and he just came on board in the last 6 months. And we are going to beef up our STM program, and we're going to invest a lot more in Asia Pacific, because in US, traditional, strong market in terms of STM, but in APAC, it's a fast growth market in terms of output. So we are focusing a lot of editorial colleagues now based in this part of the world. So stay tuned. We may have a sudden explosion of STM products in the next 2 years.
We have a few more minutes. If anyone has a question, we will bring the microphone.
So thanks for the question. I have a little freebie. 2 questions. One little, the year of horse. Right, 17th of February will be, and come by our booth to get more horses. Your first question, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you for the presentation. I would like to understand, I saw from the list just now, there are certain universities involved in, with collaboration project with the Gruyter Bill. So what about Malaysia? Is there any chances or any topics that interest for the Gruyter Bill to collaborate with us? Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for the question. So we are open to collaboration, but we have to move by stages. As I mentioned, the past 100 over years, especially for Brill, they've been working in different languages, right? The major project that we had last year, the Confucianism database, 200 million character. So our chief publishing officer believed good scholarship is not necessary in English. Right? Of course, the language of communication for science is English, but there are many good research works in the native language. Right? That's why we have like research works in Arabic, right, in Bahasa Indonesia. But we are slowly expanding. And one of the first steps we are trying to get is the Chinese research works. Right? That's why we started with this Confucianism. But we will not restrict ourselves, because especially moving forward, with the AI, there's a bit of help on that translation part on the fly, right? But we believe in good scholarly research work doesn't stop at English language. There are other languages too.
I'm Monica from Hong Kong CHK. And then I just wonder, because you just mentioned about the AI one, do you have any roadmap for the AI integration into your all products or single platform?
Thank you for the questions. I think this meeting, there's a lot of AI questions flying all around. The good thing is that we are planning according to our chief publishing officer. Don't quote me, you don't know him, so I quote him. First half of this year, we aim to, at least for a start, to get AI integrated on our platform. Our platform is both books and journals combined. So we want to enable that so-called translation on the fly, because we do have many multiple languages content. Of course, again, some languages, maybe the AI are not well trained, but the mainstream languages, I think that will help us, because especially when we are trying to distribute, partner with the local university press in this part of the world, so that AI component is important. And we also look at some of our database. We are testing it out, some of our database, to use the AI element, not just simply translation, but interacting with our content. We are experimenting that with our philosophy content, Kant philosophy content.
So can I assume that the AI will be also cater to Chinese character as well as other language character? Okay.
So that is the intention, because on our platform, we do have like Sanskrit, Arabic, Chinese content. Chinese content over the last century we have published. They are able to typeset in Chinese, publish in Chinese. people based in Leiden, the Caucasian can actually, I was told there's one colleague retired a long time ago. He can do typesetting in Chinese, Caucasian. So that is the intention, to ensure that our content, the research quality works in other languages, can be translated on the fly. Yeah. Yes, sir.
How many new open access journals you're planning to come out with this year?
I don't have the answer for you, but we have 140 open access journal now. Go OA is 140, but we are constantly launching partnership, right? In this part of the world, right, Asia Pacific, within the last 5 years, we have launched about 45 journals. Majority are Diamond OA. Yeah. Ma'am?
So I noticed that one of your journals, BKI, that's in Leiden, is having no APC, but open access. How did you make it how did that happen?
Okay, so some of our journal, as I mentioned, is Diamond OA. So it's supported by a organization. So usually we need a commitment of up to 5 years for a continuous support. And why 5 years? Because you need to build a critical mass. And typically, the impact factor will come in around the third year if you are fast, right? You want to make it sustainable, you need to make sure that we have the support, the sponsor for 5 years, right? And especially because in the humanities, social science, it's almost zero or difficult to get funding to publish in OA. So please come at 4 p.m. this afternoon. We talk about S2O, our aspiration moving towards S2O, why we are able to successfully in the last 4 years transition into S2O. So that model is relatively new, and so far we have been quite successful to date. All right, we need the support from the institutions, and we'll explain why, especially in Asia Pacific, we tweak the model a bit for S2O, but it's still aligned with our global objective for S2O. But Asia Pac, we tweak a bit, and I'm glad to say that 1st of January this year, we had our S2O proposal on China DRAA consortium, right? So I think this is we are the first publisher that has a S2O proposal in China consortium. And Hong Kong, in fact, we also had a S2O proposal. In fact, it started last year, right? So this year we extend to more, to include Brill journals. So in this part of the world, I think those that are leading ahead, so far China and Hong Kong and China. Australia, it's a combination of S2O and transformative agreement, right? With that model, we actually help to, APC is not in the discussion anymore. Because at the end of the day, a majority of our portfolio is humanities, social science. We want to support the humanities, social science community. Otherwise, their work is almost impossible to publish in open access. So I'm glad to say that in the last couple of years, we have made a major breakthrough and contribution to the research community.
So we're running out of time. We kept us a few minutes just because we had some of the technical difficulties, but thanks to Stephen and our horse whisperers in the back room. Now we know the secret. If you want a lot of questions in your session, you have a prize. So we now, in a few minutes, the vendor showcase will open. One of the famous things about the Charleston Vendor Showcase is that each organization has a table. So you don't have a giant, extravagant booth and then a tiny, tiny one next to. Everyone is on a level playing field. You can meet them equally. So I hope that you enjoy that. There will be more industry sessions this afternoon. So please come back. One of my colleagues, Aaron Gallagher, will be moderating then, and we would love to see you back. But enjoy the vendor showcase and enjoy your lunch.